people in here. They've been inside from the start. They haven't had to survive. And they just don't get it. They can't.
The very thing that makes you different is what makes you special.
Now I'm all warm and fuzzy inside.
To fight for this city. To be the symbol of hope that the Arrow never was. I am the Green Arrow.
Wow. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fandom Zone, episode 56 for the week ending April 16th, 2016.
Yes.
I am Karen, and I'm here with
Charles.
Woohoo!
Hello, everybody.
And we are discussing many things today.
Things will be discussed.
That's right. A bulked up Flash figurine, for one.
Yep. Yeah, that's a PVC figurine I've got.
Yeah, full body figurine.
Where we can do that's the Wally West. We can do Jay Garrick.
Yeah. Jay Garrick.
Or,
and I had
or Barry Allen.
Barry Allen, yes.
Classic Barry Allen.
And I had a Ghost Rider bobblehead today.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's my husband's. It glows in the dark, too, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah, my husband enjoys that.
All luminescent.
That's right. His hair glows orange. But...
So does Donald Trump's.
Nice.
Thank you.
So, we will be discussing television shows about comic books, and not just figurines and such. We will be discussing Fear the Walking Dead.
We probably could discuss that about...
Yeah, we could. We could have a whole episode about, like, memorabilia and comic books and stuff. We could definitely do that.
Think of the Phil Parrish memes.
Oh, right? He would have a field day with us.
Yes, he would.
Now he's going to do a meme about fields.
Because
I said field day. Green field day. Green day.
Got it.
Day.
Yep.
Field day.
He can be a little more clever than that.
Yeah, he can. I'm not clever at all. Okay, so we'll talk about Fear the Walking Dead, the season premiere, season 2.
Yep.
Supergirl 119, the penultimate episode of season 1. Gotham 217. Lucifer 111. That's not the penultimate episode, but it's close.
Yep.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 316. iZombie 218 and 19. Those are the season finale. Legends of Tomorrow 111. And Daredevil 206.
And Agents... Yeah, you got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, all right. Cool.
Yes.
All right.
So we're going to start with FTWD 201, Monster. You want to jump into that, yeah?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
So you want to do, let's see, that would be Monster, written by Dave Erickson, directed by Adam Davidson, who also directed the second episode.
Oh,
which we'll discuss next week.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah.
My story titles are...
Yes.
And I have a couple I couldn't decide between.
Okay.
Some titles this week, so you're going to get some
ors. So it's like the Rocky and Bullwinkle, like
right.
The titles, like, tune in next time for blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it.
So the A story is Fear the Swimming Dead, or We're on a Boat, We're on a M&F boat. Okay. B story is
dead boat. Soon we'll be making another.
Oh no, that's the wrong.
Dead boat.
I'm doing the T-Pain. No, not T-Pain. The other.
I know, but I like the 70s cheese.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we are kind of 70s.
It's cheese-tastic.
Yeah, it is cheese-tastic. I met 3 of the Love Boat cast, by the way.
I'm gonna guess Isaac.
Yes, because his mother was speaking at a seminar. And he was there with her.
Gopher?
Yes, because he's a senator and my father was a
And
lobbyist.
Doc.
Yes, Bernie Coppell.
I'm good. I'm psyched.
Very nice. I met all three
See,
of
we're
them.
on the same wavelength.
I met Bernie Coppell at Disneyland.
Bernie Coppell's awesome. I loved him
Yeah.
ever since he was on Get Smart
Yes,
as Siegfried.
that's right.
So
Very nice.
that's a very old school reference.
Those are the three that I met. Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay,
Got the brain waves.
so that's the A storyline. The B storyline is Mama's Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Because, duh, what an idiot.
Yeah.
And C storyline is, well, she's clearly moved on.
You think?
Yeah. So really the A story is like the main, definitely the main story
Yes.
is, A, it's my boat. B, it's my boat.
Right. C, it's his boat.
Yeah, he's got some serious rules,
those
right?
should have been your A, B, and C.
Yeah, well, I actually thought about doing
A
that.
story, it's my boat. B story, it's my
It's
boat.
my boat.
C, it's my mother effing boat.
Right. It kind of is his boat. I get where he's coming from. And I have to say, it shouldn't have even been a question. You don't stop. You do not stop. There's not enough room to save anyone else, right?
See, the thing I thought was interesting, though, we're not entirely sure that it is his boat. They put a little ambiguity in.
Yeah, but still, right now, it's his boat.
Well, yes, possession being 9/10 of the law.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not really, I mean, he knows how to drive it. He's in charge of it. It's his boat.
Yeah.
And yeah, it might not be his boat as far as, he owned it, but where's the dude who owns it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that may be a mystery we need to solve.
Yeah. But he saved all of them. They need to defer to him at this point. And the right thing is, you don't stop for people. I'm sorry, but there really aren't enough resources.
Alicia.
Not just Alicia, but there were other.
A lot of Alicia.
Yeah, there were a lot of people on that boat that kind of thought maybe we should stop and save some people. And
Alicia, the battery burner.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she gives away information.
Yeah.
Which I thought right up front, hello, no. Even the guy on the radio was saying it's a bad idea, and she's still giving out information.
You know that Alicia, before the zombie apocalypse, she was the one on the phone giving away like people who would scam you, like all kinds of like bank information or,
Right.
know.
I know you didn't watch Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
But Jerry on Parks and Rec was the one that was always doing something wrong. One of the lines that Ron had was, I have a friend who said the schlemiel is the guy who spills the soup and the schlemazel is the guy who gets spilled on. And Jerry is the schmiel and the schlemazel of the office. He not only spills the soup, but he gets the soup spilled on him.
Mm.
So Jerry, he did a phone bank for Leslie when she was running for office. And you see him and he goes, well, I don't know why you would need my social security number, but yeah, sure, I'll go ahead and give it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So Alicia would be that person, right?
Would you like my savings account number too? And my PIN number?
And my PIN, right.
Yeah.
She was definitely charmed by this guy. And this is she's clearly moved on.
Yeah.
Because she just lost her boyfriend, a few days ago? It wasn't that long ago.
No, he died. She made a little tattoo.
And she's still tracing it on her arm.
Yeah.
And yet she's talking to this guy and giving up info and then wanting to go and meet him and definitely hook up.
Yeah, Alicia's looking to hook up in the zombie apocalypse, apparently.
Right. And she's already, thought about hooking up with Chris, right?
Right. But yeah, because there was that scene in the house last season.
Right.
Where she's all in the mirror watching him watch her.
Right. So she's a little hoe bag.
Yeah. So far, anyway.
Yeah.
Don't want to slut shame.
No, she's a hoe bag.
Okay.
She kind of is.
All right. You get to slut shame a lot easier than I can.
Yeah. Tensions are running high. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But come on. Yeah. I mean, seriously. There's no
And she's
excuse for
supposedly like
that.
this really brilliant, student,
Mm-hmm.
but
And
apparently has
trustworthy,
no common sense.
right? And she was supposed to be the trustworthy kid in
Right.
the family, and her brother was the drug taker, right? I mean,
Mm.
she was the one that they could count on when they went to go find the brother who was missing and strung out and all that stuff, right?
3 teens on the dead boat. None of them is worth a damn.
Worth anything, right?
Yeah.
Except for actually the one that was kind of the screw up went and dove under, and yeah, he got in trouble, but he found
You
something
mean Nick?
in the wreckage. He found something in the wreckage that might be of use
Right.
to them. Now,
And
he
the
should have gone,
and the plus side, he finally got to wash his hair
right? It's not all
because
stringy and gross,
damn.
right?
Yeah.
It was pretty stringy and gross. Although I cannot tell you how many people have liked that photo
I know.
of him on our Facebook page.
People, I mean, I have to say people because it's probably both genders here. But yeah, some people really dig the skeevy look
Yeah.
on guys.
Yeah. I don't mind stubble and kind of scruffy look,
But
but the
unwashed,
stringy hair, no, not so much.
yeah. I don't
Brad Pitt had that going for him too,
Yeah.
and people like that, and I wasn't a fan.
it's,
So,
it's like with Norman Reedus.
mm-hmm.
That's a perfect example because Reedus
Right.
doesn't look like he's washed his hair for like 2 seasons now.
Right. And I find no one super attractive on that show at all. I really do not.
Not Rick when he's cleaned up or a little scruffy.
When he was in Love Actually, maybe,
Hmm.
but not on The Walking Dead. No,
Okay.
I don't find a love
Or
interest.
Heath.
Well, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
What about Heath?
No.
No.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, yes.
Okay. So you're hot for Negan.
Well, he's clean for one thing, but yeah, he's got the motorcycle jacket, and yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I like the biker look.
The
yeah.
large and in charge look.
Yeah, alpha male,
Yeah,
all the way,
got it.
all the way.
Okay.
So anyway,
So
hold on.
what is this bizarre segue?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Nick's the only one who's actually done anything productive, and that's saying something.
Right.
It wasn't anything
Shows you how low
productive.
shows you how low the bar is.
Oh, the bar set. Right.
Yeah.
So they're going out. They're trying to go what? South?
I think so, yes.
Is where they're headed?
Well, they're headed towards San Diego.
South.
Right.
So they're headed south, but they're it's nebulous at the moment where they're headed. They're just headed south, and they've mentioned San Diego, but they've also mentioned like other places.
Yeah, I think they were just more of like, okay, here we are. What's a good direction to get the heck out of Dodge?
Right.
Because we're in a hurry. We're trying to get away from all the chaos. So yes, south is good.
Right. And north, we'd hit like worse weather.
Exactly.
So south is better.
Right, because we could always go to Mexico if it doesn't work out.
Right. Exactly. So I think that's a smart move for them.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they're going to get anywhere because it's a Walking Dead show.
Yep.
They're not going to get away from the zombies. Although I cannot wait to see what they run into. It's going to be interesting because we don't know what's going to happen on this show.
Yeah, they kind of teased it there at the end of this episode. But as we know since we're running a little behind this week.
I haven't watched the next one, so don't.
Oh, okay, I won't talk. But just just from what we both know, okay, from this first episode of the second season, someone is out there.
Yeah,
and someone took apart a boat.
Yeah,
in a big way.
Time.
In a big
some
way.
Pirates or
somebody's got some serious ammo.
Anger management issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Negan of the Seas.
That's right. Or Governor of the Seas.
Yeah, Governor of the Seas.
Yeah. Because they're hitting him first. Negan's coming later. There's going to be another big bad later.
Personally, I blame Black Manta.
Do you? Yeah. So is Aquaman going to come to their rescue later?
Wouldn't that be awesome if he did?
Yeah, it would be actually
Okay.
really
See,
awesome.
you're mocking my idea, but
No, I'm not mocking it at all.
it
I
would be
think it's
cool.
awesome.
But yeah, no, I don't think
It's
that.
image, so no.
Yeah, company crossover.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, there's that. So really, right now they're headed south. There's conflicts on board as to whether to pick up other people, whether to stop for supplies,
Mm-hmm.
whether to contact people with the radio. They have heard through those channels that the Coast Guard is not helping anyone. They have said, "God help us, we're not helping anyone."
Sucks to be you.
Right, pretty much, right?
Right.
And they find this boat that's been torn apart, everyone dead, zombies in the water. Nick finds something and brings it up in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And Alicia has been talking to her new boyfriend on the radio, and the ominous sign off of, "Well, I guess we'll see you soon." Right?
I phrased this on Twitter as Alicia has discovered the nautical version of sexting.
Right. It's Tinder on a CB.
Pretty much.
So she swiped left and any other guy swiping right. Right?
Well, I don't know. She seemed pretty into the guy. I think they both.
Well, which way is it?
I think right is where you accept somebody.
Okay, so she swiped right and he swiped left.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know.
I could be wrong.
I'm married.
I'm married as well. So I just know what people tell me.
Here's how it went. At the end there.
Yes.
And then, of course, the main line, which made me giggle a lot, which we have mentioned, is number one, it's my boat.
Yes.
Number two, it's my boat. And I think number three would also be, it's my MFing boat.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
And you know that's going to be on a T-shirt.
Oh, yes.
It's got, if it's not already.
I would make it as a T-shirt.
It's going to be a T-Fury shirt like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Or ripped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would love to have it.
Or T-Public, this official sponsor of the Fandom Zone podcast T-shirt. Free plug.
I like that. You did that ching,
Ching.
smile with the
Yeah, I need a little glisten off the
cling.
cling.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thumbs up sign.
Yeah. So I felt like it didn't go very far, but we did get a setup for the next episode.
Yeah.
We got a lot of talking on the boat. Oh, and then of
This
course
is like
we
a
got
transition
Chris.
episode between the season 1 finale and what's coming up.
Right. And we got Chris mooning over his mother. And he wasn't happy that his dad shot her.
Yeah.
But too bad, because
burial tantrum.
Yeah.
Where he dumps his mom in the ocean.
I think he's going to learn that that was the best thing.
What, just to shove her in?
No, to shoot her.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about how the way he just shoved her in the ocean.
What's his name? Cliff?
Oh, you mean, no, that's the actor's name.
That's the actor's name.
Travis.
Travis, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Travis shot her and he was all pissy about it. And you shot her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was that. And, I hate you.
Right.
You're not my dad. Yeah. But he is his dad. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was that whole drama. And right now, Travis just can't even.
Right.
Is really what that is.
Travis should, now, if Travis had the cojones he needs, he would just say, sit Chris down and go, look, did you want zombie mom? No? Right. Okay, then stop your crying.
Right.
And walk it off.
Right. This is what she wanted.
Put on the big boy pants and shut up.
Right. It was the hardest thing I've had to do. So get over yourself.
Right.
It was worse for me, dummy.
It's not all about you, princess.
Right. Princess Sparkle Butt.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So anything I left out?
Get a haircut, you hippie.
They all need haircuts. I think it's bad on The Walking Dead, but these kids really need haircuts. Yeah. Right?
Well, you know. Gotta be young and cool.
Or they need little leather thongs to
Well,
tie.
Nick, if you notice, is completely balding. So he's got to be like, okay, I got to have as much hair as possible to cover
Yeah,
up
I
my big
guess.
5 head.
Yeah. Not
He
a
doesn't have
four.
a 4 head. He has a 5 head.
I like that.
You're-
You made me laugh.
That's what I'm here for.
Thank you. Okay, did I miss anything?
I don't think so. Let's see here. Yeah, we talked about the hostile ship coming, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, so what was your grade?
My grade, I thought this episode was a little flat. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but again, it's a transition episode, so it wasn't
Right.
anything exceptional.
It's just trying to remind us of the
Yeah.
show.
So I did like the zombies in the Pacific, though.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I gave this rating is 8 out of 10 zombies floating in the Pacific.
Okay.
Because, water's ocean zombies.
I know, they were kind of cool.
And it was a cool way to do it because it's like, hey, they're not, because they're undead, they could just float around there all day
Sure.
and then still be a threat.
Right.
So that was a cool idea.
And they would definitely float.
So yeah, exactly. So they just float around. They're like landmines almost, floating in the, or sea mines floating in the ocean.
Right.
So I thought that was a cool idea. I liked it.
Zombie mines.
Yeah, zombie mines. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I went a little lower just because I was frustrated with all the just stagnation in this episode. It just kind of stayed in the same spot. I gave it a 7.5 rules.
Because rules.
Right.
Yeah.
Rules 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Which we discussed. Yeah.
And it was my favorite part of the episode. He is amazing. And we saw that he was on Lucifer and he was great on Lucifer. And I just loved him in that. And I like him in this show too.
I know his last name's what? Domingo? I can't remember his first name. Yeah.
Why are you doing this to me?
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I know his last name's Domingo. He's good.
Yeah, it is.
Great.
His first name's Short.
It's like a start with a C, I want to say.
Yeah.
Claudio Domingo? I don't know. I can't remember.
Claudio's long.
Yeah, well. Okay.
Carl Domingo? I don't remember. But he's good.
Yeah, he's good. So
can we just say that? He's
got and I'm really jealous of his voice.
Oh, me too. It's so resonant and thick and rich.
Me with my crappy voice, I would kill for a resonant voice.
Me with my crappy voice too.
No,
I love it.
Are you kidding? You have a smooth voice.
I don't like it. I hate it. When I hear my voice.
Well, as someone who is outside you have a smooth voice.
All right. Well, I don't.
I do not.
I listen to my voice sometimes and I'm like, oh, it's the worst.
No, you're fine.
I hear nasal and ugh. It's just gross.
See, that's my problem. But anyway, okay.
Well, I think I like your voice.
I have upper respiratory allergies, so if I sound congested, that's why.
You do a little bit today, but
I've been
you
like
still
that
sound good. It's only because I know you. Other people probably don't.
Okay, so I guess I shouldn't have pointed that out.
Probably not.
Don't.
Yeah. All right, so on to Supergirl, the penultimate episode. 119 Myriad. Which you and I have had a fight over that word.
Yeah. Why? I forget.
Because you said a myriad of, and I said, does it need the a and of?
And I was right, wasn't I?
We were both right.
Right, but my way that you corrected on Facebook.
I know, on Facebook. They're both right. My way is the traditional way, and your way has been.
I wrote my post, which was perfectly grammatically correct.
It was, but you know what?
It drove her crazy, so she edited my post.
My way is the main correct way, and your way is correct because so many people have done it that way. They've made it.
There's a myriad of problems.
No, there's myriad problems.
A myriad. It's perfect.
No.
It is perfectly.
It is because they made it that way because so many people did it wrong. It is. It's true.
Well, then it still counts. It's good. So leave it alone.
I know.
Just accept it.
What is this bizarre segue that's happening?
I accepted it. I'd let you change it.
Grammar fight.
Technically.
Grammar fight.
A of. You don't need the a and the of. And I like to edit unnecessary words out.
It's a noun, too.
Yeah, I know. It's just myriad. Myriad problems. Myriad problems.
A myriad.
All right.
A myriad of.
So, myriad.
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Hey, Myriad.
You're the worst. Okay, so my A story, B story, C story is zombies can be red shirts too. Because Kelly.
Now, what if you had Star Trek zombies? You'd
Exactly.
have like double the
Double red shirt.
double red shirt. That's like red shirt squared.
Right. And my second one is run, 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 and runaways.
Very nice.
Right. And then a beacon of hope. Wait, this isn't Arrow. Because Arrow just
Yes.
had an episode named
Beacon of Hope. Yeah.
Beacon of
Beacon of Hope. Yes, because we have to do the bee puns because
it was a bee.
of the bug-eyed bandit.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so
A, B,
yeah,
and C.
zombies.
Oh,
can
you did
be
that. We
red
did
shirts
that.
too. That's the main storyline of Zod. I'm sorry, Non.
Yeah. He
Coming
should be
down,
Zod, but
right.
because
Coming down,
Zod is occupied in the films, we use Non.
right.
Yeah.
Trying to control things. It's all the zombies and everything. But I am actually alluding to Kelly being, dropped off the building essentially.
Poor
And
Kelly.
I know, right? How did we know that she was the one that wasn't going to get saved?
Couldn't be because she's never appeared in any other episode besides this one.
Right. And the other two were Win and
Yes.
James.
But here's my issue with that. Okay, so we're
Mhm.
talking about the scene where, the zombified James and Win and poor Kelly
Who they all love dearly.
are under the spell of the Myriad and
Of Myriad.
the Myriad because it's a device.
Of Myriad.
The Myriad of problems. But so they jump out a window. Oh, I'm sorry.
Off the deck.
Or should I? All right, forget Myriad. I'll just say blood control
There we go.
from the Christmas invasion of Doctor Who.
Right.
But in the Sycorax.
I'm okay with that.
Because that's pretty much what it was. It's like,
Yes.
oh, blood control. I expected David Tennant to walk out and go like, Myriad.
Right.
I love Myriad.
He could have walked out and said, "Okay, stop this right now. This is silly."
Yes, like old Graham Chapman from
Right.
Python. Yes. Okay. So they jump out the window. 3 of them are falling. I have to think Supergirl is fast enough to catch 3 people falling from a building.
Right.
I
Or
know
stop them before they walk out onto the ledge.
right. Yeah, something.
Right. Because they had to walk all the way from
And they made a big deal. Like James tells Supergirl, "Well, it's okay. Clark, couldn't have saved 3 people." And they're screaming at the television. Yes, he would have saved 3 people.
Right.
You idiots.
Right. Flash would have saved all 3 people.
Exactly.
He's just as
He
fast.
saved more. Yeah, just running up the damn building. So
Right.
yeah.
What a dummy. Yeah, I thought it was a really bad plot hole.
Forced drama.
Right. So anyway, there's that whole thing with the zombies. There's, of course, the fact that even though he saw this coming and was able to make devices so that he and Kat would escape the zombification, Max didn't do anything about Myriad going online.
Nope.
But he did know it was coming.
Yeah.
And he had time to put precautions in place for him and Kat.
Well, that's because he's self-absorbed.
And Kat?
Well, because he's got eyes on her.
Okay.
Didn't they have a fling though?
Yes, they did.
So maybe he's just like, well, maybe I'll hook up my ex as well.
All right.
So that she doesn't
And she can put it on TV?
Yeah.
Is that what the thing was?
Something like that. And then how oblivious is Kat that everybody in the freaking world, or at least in National City at least, is, a mind-controlled zombie. So she just gets up, goes about her day, la la la, doesn't wonder why traffic's not moving and stuff.
I know.
Walks into the building, oh hi,
Yeah.
and it doesn't say hi to anybody because of course it's Kat.
Right.
So how self-centered are you?
Right. She's looking at her phone the whole time. The whole time. It has to be the whole time, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I have to think that she's not getting calls or emails from anybody, or You
I
think she
know.
would have like looked up or something, but
Nope,
nope.
not at all. And one of the things I did notice is that she says Kira as she walks by
Right,
Kara
right.
in her Supergirl outfit.
Hmm.
So she knows, she knows,
Right.
even on some level, that she's Supergirl. She knows.
Is she in denial over it?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think she's just playing coy.
Hmm. Okay. Well, maybe she feels like Supergirl's more effective if she acts like she doesn't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. And she'll lose her assistant.
Right. Yeah, it's
So
like I
that's
have
better.
I have Supergirl serving me coffee,
Right. That's a
so I don't
better
want to give that up.
option. And I'd rather have her here under my thumb than out there where I can't see where she is.
Right.
And right now Supergirl's working for me, which is awesome. So
Yeah.
uh so yeah, and she runs off all the time. She has to know, I'm thinking. So
Maybe.
and then she makes that comment about Harrison Ford, which is hilarious.
That was good. That was sly.
Yeah.
Because if you know, like Calista Flockhart and Harrison Ford were
Married.
are
Yes.
married, yes.
Okay.
Some
So
people might not know that.
are they living under a rock?
Maybe they're like Kat. They don't pay attention.
If they're listening to this podcast, they know that
That's
they're
true.
married.
Because we have a higher standard of audience
That's right.
than
They have to know.
your standard Supergirl audience.
Okay, so Max and Kat are immune, as well as Kara, who lived at least half of her life on Krypton, which is why she's not affected.
Right.
And Clark was sent here as a baby, which is why he's affected. This is the excuse they give.
Yeah.
And this is the superhero Handwave who shows up
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
give me the excuse.
Yeah. You start to see Superman sort of like from a distance fly in, and then you're like, yeah, they're gonna do something with Super. Oh no, he just joined the crowd. Whoop.
Right.
Bum, 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 bum,
Yeah. I would
bum.
have felt better if he had just been off world
Yeah.
and
They've been
not.
using the off-world excuse a lot, so
I would have been fine with that, to be honest. If it had gotten out past National City, then he could have joined in and said, "Oh well, I'll let you handle it until it gets too big, and then I'll come in and help."
mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Okay. So Max wants to use this weapon that will kill all Kryptonians, and it would make it unsafe for them to be in National City. So he gets his way. And see, this makes me very, very suspicious of him because not only did he know about Myriad, he has this weapon that will allow him to get his way of all the aliens will be out of National City.
Isn't that convenient?
Right.
Right.
And Kat doesn't want that
Nope.
because number one, I think she'll lose her assistant. And
Yep.
number two, National City will be boring as hell.
Why would it matter to Kat? She doesn't notice a damn thing going on in the city.
Well, but she won't have anything to report on.
That's true.
So she and Kara get together and decide to overrule him, and they're going to go to this broadcast tower shack out in the middle of nowhere, and they're going to
Love Shack, baby. No.
Love Shack, baby,
Love Shack.
they're going to broadcast a message of hope.
Yeah.
To try and get into their minds. And I rolled my eyes at this. And now, mind you, I liked this episode, okay? But there were so many pushes to plausibility that it really bugged me.
This also, again, I was screaming at the television because they're all focused on, we got to have to broadcast the signal of hope.
Right.
And I'm thinking, why don't you try taking out the satellites
Right.
that are broadcasting Myriad all over the planet, or at least all over National City or whatever.
Right.
So you could free people from the control.
Right. And yeah, they said there was some sort of force field around them,
But
but
she didn't even try.
she didn't push them or
Yeah, I would have been
anything.
okay with it. Okay, she tries and it doesn't work.
Right.
But didn't even
Nothing.
show her trying. She just
No.
like, no, no, no. Instead of doing this much more practical, common sense approach, let's do something, completely touchy feely
Right.
and like we'll inspire
Something
hope in people and that will free them from.
quite out of character for Kat too,
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, she should have been like, are you kidding me with this?
Right.
She
And
should have been going like all Sarah Palin, hopey changey.
I know. It sounds like I don't like this episode. I'm just pointing out the nits I have with it. I actually did like this episode.
As did
Don't
I.
get me wrong.
As did I, but yeah, there are flaws in it. It's not perfect.
Big flaws. I like the action in it,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the fact that they were setting it up nicely for the last episode.
For the season finale, yeah.
Right. So that's why I like the episode. And I also liked the little twist at the end, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
The Runaways now, that was Alex and Jean.
Right.
And I loved that they made him into a little boy and her into his mother.
Well, he can shapeshift, so it makes
Right.
perfect sense.
It was awesome. And they were on that bus. And then they go to visit her mother.
Right.
And it was a nice meeting between Jean and Mrs. Danvers.
Helen Slater.
Right. So there were 3 Supergirls in this episode again.
Yep. We got to get them together, though.
I know, in the same room. Well, I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to happen because Indigo's gone now, but
She can be rebuilt. They have the technology.
stronger, faster.
Yeah.
So I liked that they showed up and there was this meeting and she was immediately angry because Hank was responsible for Jeremiah's death.
Mm-hmm.
But once she met Jean and learned about this connection that he had with her husband, and I'm assuming they had a longer conversation there because they cut away and came back, and she was all up in his face about, ooh, I want to know this, and this. Does your mask change?
I really liked that. I like the fact that she was just
it.
like, I want to know all about you being a Martian and blah, blah, blah.
That was great.
That was great. It's like, hey, you're actually developing the character and making her, like, giving her a personality. Crazy.
I dug it. And
Yep.
and he said, you are just like your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love that too, because he's telling her in that one sentence how much he cares about her family.
Right.
And not just that, but they seem to bond really well. And then there was this sense of urgency.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Yeah.
let me just throw something out at you.
Mm-hmm.
Should we be shipping
Jean and Mrs. Danvers?
Jean and Mrs.
No,
Danvers?
because Jeremiah is still alive.
Oh, that's true. But
so
for
no.
how long?
She's technically still married. Okay, well, not now.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Right.
I wouldn't mind them getting
It's a long
together.
road to that reunion.
That's right. I don't know. He's pretty cute.
So,
and she's very...
Because John already sees Alex and Kara as daughters.
As surrogate
daughters, yeah. So, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. No, let's not go that far yet.
All right.
Record scratch that.
You can't touch this.
So right now it's that.
Yeah.
He can shapeshift, which is intriguing to me.
Yep. It comes in 3 sizes. No.
Hey, who knows? Okay, so they have a little bond, but then there's this alert that she hasn't told them about National City, and all of a sudden, oh, didn't you see what was happening in National City? Maybe you should have told them that right when they showed up.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're burying the lead here.
Right. And they all decide to go and help. And Alex, should not have gone.
Right.
Because
Alex, yeah.
Alex, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, it ends up biting her in the butt because she is the one that can be manipulated with Myriad.
I know I'm really quite vulnerable to this, so let me go.
Right. And of course, when she gets there, she tries to help, and when Non and Indigo get to her, and Non is quite beta.
Yeah.
Indigo is the alpha in their relationship. He lets Indigo do all the heavy lifting. Have you noticed that? He doesn't out and out kill those people. He lets Kara not save them.
Or is that just his way of delegating?
Yeah, but it's his way of saying I didn't actually kill those people.
Right. But he's getting what he wants, so it's not like...
Sure.
Yeah.
And then, he sends Indigo out to do his dirty work for him. And
Right.
so, I don't know. He just always seems kind of beta to me. And she is very, very strong-willed. And then she goes down to fight with them, and she does the Terminator 2 thing with her fingers.
Right.
And
well, let's keep in mind this episode was written by 2 women. So they may have deliberately playing... I'm not, just saying that maybe they were trying to...
He's felt that way for me the whole season, though, with him playing second fiddle to Astra.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it at all. I just think that that's kind of... He doesn't mind being the mastermind behind the muscle.
Right.
He likes being
He's the guy who calls the shots.
Right. And he doesn't like to get his hands dirty.
Yeah. Yeah. You go deal with that. You go deal with Supergirl. I'll just sit back and...
Right. And then I'll blame you if it all goes wrong.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And plus, I didn't kill anyone.
Yeah.
You killed them. Or you are responsible for their death.
Yeah. He like you said, he is very hands-off.
Mm-hmm. So, Indigo hurts Hank. And again, he's a shapeshifter, so I'm assuming he managed to avoid serious injury by, not having vital organs in the way.
Or moved them. Yeah, it's like, I could just move these over here.
Right, exactly. And so he's not dead, obviously. I think people need to keep that in mind, that Jean is a shapeshifter, so he can avoid injury like that.
I think that's a lot of... Because of his powers, it's very easy to forget, unless you're somebody who's like, oh, it's Martian Manhunter. Of course he is.
Yeah, every time he gets hurt in the show, I'm like,
but if you're not as familiar with the Martian Manhunter, it's very easy to fall into the trap that the writers are setting up.
Oh my God!
Oh no, he's dead. No,
so I just assume he's gonna live every time. Yeah. I'm like, oh well, he's not hurt. I'm good. So he's hurt enough that he has to fall back, and then they take Alex and they put her in a suit so that she's not quite equal to Kara, but definitely a match for her.
Right.
In some ways, and that's where we end the episode.
It's wannabe Batman versus Supergirl.
That's right.
Dawn of Myriad.
Dawn of Myriad. Not a myriad, but Myriad.
In this context.
Right.
Yes.
So I don't think I missed anything. This is
Maxima. You've missed
Oh,
Maxima.
yeah. Maxima broke out at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, we got Maxima, who, if you're not familiar with, she was created back in the day by George Perez, and I want to say, who wrote that episode? Roger Stern, maybe? Might have been Roger Stern and George Perez. I'm not sure. But yeah, she was essentially this leader of this planet called Almerac, and she decided, oh, hey, I need a consort.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, this Superman guy, he would work out really well. So she comes to Earth, looking to shack up with Superman, but he's not having any part of it, and she kind of goes a little bit supervillainy for a while. Then she kind of redeems herself, joins the Justice League, gets killed, and then gets brought back in New 52.
Right.
So
it was Crucible, was the comic she was in.
Yeah.
And she was created by... Oh, well, that wasn't who she was created by, but this was the Supergirl comic she was in.
You can probably look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, she was written here by Mike Johnson and Tony Bedard. I recommended Crucible for my Cougars Comic Corner.
Okay.
Because it's a really good
Yep.
comic for her. And I thought she would be in the finale too, but she's not.
Nope. No, it was just like a little tease. Maybe she'll come back.
I'm hoping she does because she does end up becoming good and teaming up with Kara and all that.
Yeah, she might be an ally against the Kryptonians or something.
Which would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool. All right, so anything else?
Not that I know of.
Okay, what's your rating?
8 pointy fingers.
Mr. Pointy Fingers?
Ms. Pointy Fingers.
Ms. Pointy Fingers.
Blue
Pointy
fingers.
Yeah, so I give this one 8.5. Catco employees jumping out windows.
Off of decks.
Yeah.
And windows.
Well, they had to open a window to go out into the balcony. Did. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. I knew what you meant.
Which again, you're like, maybe you want to like keep those windows
catch them before. Yeah. Tie them to their chairs.
Yeah, because working for Cat, you would think people would be jumping out windows all the time.
All the time, right?
Like on the Monty Python sketch, but
right. Yeah.
Look, two people, 3 people have just fallen downwards.
4 people. Who do you think's gonna be next?
Parkinson's next. Come on, Pocky. Don't be stupid, Pocky. Come on, Pocky. Don't be silly, man.
So, verdict is I liked it, but mostly because it was a decent setup for the next episode. But there were so many plot holes it bothered me.
Yes.
So it would have gotten higher otherwise.
Okay.
Okay, so on to Gotham Into the Woods.
Into the Woods. Written by Rebecca Perry Cutter, directed by Oz Scott.
Very nice. And your little dog too.
Yeah. Or like the Prison Oz, like HBO series.
Oh, I never saw that.
I never did either, but I heard
J. Jonah Jameson was on it.
Yep. That's when he kind of got
famous,
well known.
Yeah.
That's when his breakthrough.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's going to be in a DC movie, right?
Yeah, he's going to be in Justice League Part 1 as Commissioner Gordon.
Excellent.
Which kind of segues back to Gotham.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
So he's going to be J. Jonah Jameson and Commissioner Gordon.
Right on.
I like what you did there.
Thank you.
All right, so A story I have on the recording.
Mm-hmm.
B story, Cinder Oswald. I mean, that's a...
Right.
I had no choice but to use that.
Yeah, I understand.
C story, so much for that team up when it comes to Catwoman.
Oh, yeah.
And bonus, wrong X. Shut the door.
Don't.
At the end.
Yep.
Okay, so on the record.
I wanted an Nara from Firefly and I get stabby babs.
Right. Yeah. On the recording.
Yeah.
This is the Riddler.
Right.
We got 2 really great storylines in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Riddler becoming the Riddler pretty much, and we got Oswald becoming the Penguin.
Yeah. This is essentially the culmination of the whole Jim's been framed, sent up the river by Edward Nygma.
Right.
Plotline.
Right. And it's James Gordon working together with his little team to narrow down the clues to figure out that Ed was behind this. And it all comes down to that cuckoo clock.
Right.
In his home until he figures it out that, whoops, it's a clock.
And Ed kind of like smiles at himself, or smiles at Gordon when he realizes. He's like, like he's all like, see, I got one on you there.
Right. Because, well, number one, sometimes he sets it up because he wants someone to figure it out.
Yeah, I think.
And then he likes the fact that he actually did get put in jail for it.
Right. Well, I think he likes trying to prove how smart he is.
Right.
Like, And
But in
then,
order to show how smart he is, he has to get caught because
right.
it has to be attributed back to him.
And then part of his psychosis is that, yeah, he kind of gets off on the revelation that someone has figured out his riddle,
Right.
and then it gets him caught.
Right.
But he doesn't care about that because he'll just escape anyway.
Right.
Start again.
But he loves that someone knows how smart he is. And
Right.
it has to be him, so
Someone worthy enough of appreciating it, like Batman does.
right.
Right.
But in this case,
Yeah,
Gordon.
yeah.
And of course it's Gordon who hasn't honed his skills as much as Batman will in the future, and it's Riddler before he becomes the super villain
Right.
Riddler. So we get these slightly lower versions of themselves.
Mhm.
Gordon is never quite the detective as Batman is.
No, but in season 1, if you recall, Edward would throw out riddles,
Mm-hmm.
like when it was like him and Bullock and Gordon,
And
not
Gordon
expecting
would,
anybody to get it, but then Gordon would answer the riddle,
right,
and Ed would be kind of impressed with Gordon as a
right.
result.
Ed would be taken aback by
So
that.
I think Edward sees, because he hasn't met Batman yet, obviously.
Right.
So he kind of sees him as worthy
Right.
of the challenge.
Right. And so he's cutting his teeth on
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
on James.
they're both still pretty new at this. Yeah.
Right. And I love that he catches him and then they trap him.
Mm-hmm.
They get him caught in that lie and they literally go into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the Into the Woods from the title, where he has to go and try and dig up Kristen's body.
Yeah, they trick him into thinking that has to destroy the evidence of Kristen Kringle's murder.
Right.
So Edward goes out there and they kind of set him up. They have Selena go to the GCPD headquarters.
Right. To Barnes.
And
say
talk
that she's got
in full
info.
view that, hey, we've got they've got evidence.
Right.
And knowing that Edward is going to be listening in.
Right.
So then he's like, oh crap, I got to do something about that. They're ready for him. They follow him out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they put the bag on him.
Right. And he has this soliloquy with James, of course, where he confesses everything. And when they catch him, they're like, he was gonna kill me. And they're like, no, come on.
Come on, dude.
You're caught.
We overheard you.
Right. And he tries valiantly to cover himself, but then he doesn't. And he's down. And
he makes a run for it and he trips.
Right. And he
falls into the snow or something.
He says something funny. He says like ouchie or something.
Yeah, I can't remember. It was a week and a half ago. I can't remember.
I know, but he says something funny. Anyway, it's very funny when oopsie. He
says, something
oopsie.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. So they catch him, and at the end of the episode, he's going into Arkham.
Yeah, and doesn't that look fun for Ed? Yeah. I think he bit off a little bit more than he expected with that.
And again, it's the same thing as what happened with Oswald a few episodes ago, where he thinks he's going in and he's smart and he's not going to get caught. But Hugo is definitely going to have some fun with him.
Well, Ed might have some fun with Hugo too.
A little bit.
That could be a really interesting
dynamic. Yeah.
Battle there going on. No battle of wills.
Yeah, but still, I don't think Ed is 100% ready.
No,
for prison.
No,
not at all.
No, not yet.
Okay, and then we have Cinder Oswald, who learns at the beginning of this episode that his stepfamily is not quite into him.
Imagine that.
After his father dies. But of course, his stepbrother, who is not the brightest tool in the shed, did not get rid of the port that poisoned his father. And unfortunately for me and everyone else, the dog gets a hold of it. And
the poor dog dies. Now, I was kind of surprised by this because I thought at first that Oswald had figured it out right off the bat. But it kind of seemed to me that no, actually he was still like I was presuming that he was playing along. like he had figured it out and was like, okay, I'm just biding my time until I get my
Oh,
moment. But no, I think
no, he hadn't. Not
yeah,
until the port.
no, he didn't find out until the port. So yeah, I thought it was, I just thought he was gonna like,
No,
oh,
I thought the port snapped him out of that Hugo Strange.
I thought it was his father's death that snapped him out,
Mm,
but I was wrong. It was the
yeah,
port that snapped him out of it.
yeah, it was. It was learning that they had killed his father
Yeah.
that snapped him, period. And he decided he was going to have a little fun.
Hmm.
And
And yes, he did.
yeah, they started throwing rolls at him when
Yeah.
he was bringing them food, and that kind of that pushed him over the edge. So he had some fun with them,
Hmm.
and then his mother
They're like, oh,
decided,
he's just this meek little loser now. We can just throw food at,
and they underestimated him.
right?
Mother wanted a roast, so he gave her a couple of choices,
Yep.
and yeah,
Do you want white meat or dark meat?
you want boy roast or girl
Yep.
roast? And he ended up serving her Scott Tenorman,
Her
which was
kids.
the first thing.
See, and that, yeah, yeah. I guess we're kind of spoiling my.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
Wait,
it was the first thing I thought of too.
it
Was
was.
the
It was.
chili?
If you saw the South Park episode, Scott Tenorman
It's Scott Tenorman must
must die.
die.
Yeah, Scott
Yeah,
Tenorman must die. Thank you. It is a completely mind-blowing episode.
it
The
is.
fact that how back in the day people used to get freaked out by Bart Simpson,
Hmm.
how he did something, and then people are like, oh, what a what a horrible role model Bart Simpson is.
Right.
Nothing on Eric.
Nothing compared
No, because Eric Cartman in this episode, he gets picked on by this bully named Scott
because he
Tenorman.
he wants pubes.
Yeah, well, no, he tricks him into buying pubes off him, pubic.
Right.
So, um, he he wants revenge.
Right.
So there's a chili cook-off,
Right.
and Scott's making chili.
Hmm.
Right? Supposedly he's really looking
Well,
forward
he
to.
set up this chili
Yeah,
cook-off.
yeah, exactly.
He
And
sets up all these traps.
so,
His band is
you know,
coming to town, and
so Cartman arranges like he sits Scott down and he's like, "Okay, here, I made some chili for you."
hmm
And apparently Scott thinks that, he's got the good chili or whatever.
well, Scott put the pubes
Yeah,
in the chili that he's
Cartman.
having
Yeah,
Cartman taste.
yeah,
Yeah.
Cartman. So he figures, okay, Cartman ate the chili with the pubes in it.
Right.
But then Cartman ends up serving Scott his own parents
Right.
that he killed and chopped up and like,
In
holy
chili.
crap.
Right. Which I was totally not
No,
expecting.
it's just this completely brutal, like, I can't believe they did that.
Right.
And so here you've got the Penguin to kind of get back on point.
Right.
You've got the Penguin doing the Eric Cartman Scott Tenorman gag
Right.
of serving family members
To the mother.
to the mother, or yeah,
Right.
in this case.
Just
So
a
yeah,
little
this kind of
skewed.
flip that, yeah, it's just basically, yeah, it's
It was
the
the
kids are
first
getting
thing I
served.
thought.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I'm just like, wow.
That South Park turned the page for me. I
Mhm.
love South Park,
Yeah.
but that was like, okay, this show is mind blowing.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those so dark
Hmm.
that you wouldn't expect it, even from
Right.
South Park. And they went there.
I know.
And so here, Gotham did it. And
Yep.
and I'm sure it had to freak you out if you never saw the South Park episode.
Right. But if you had,
But if you had,
like us,
yeah,
it didn't freak me out, but it was like, oh,
yeah.
Scott
Or
Tenorman.
like me, who watched 3 seasons of Hannibal and
Oh, yeah, I did too.
love that show too.
Doesn't freak me out.
Doesn't freak me out, but
But I chuckled
yeah, I'm just, yeah,
and I thought, well, she kind of deserves it. And then I thought, well, it's not like she's going to suffer for long because,
yeah, exactly. She's gonna be dead too. So
right.
yeah,
So, yeah, he does end up killing her. And I'm assuming that since they don't have any other family ties, that they're just going to disappear. And so he's going to end up with all the money in the house and all that.
right.
So, yeah, he ends up with all of that. And there's going to be clues. There's going to be all kinds of things in that house because his father was tailor to all of the bigwigs in Gotham, and so he's going to have his library and all that stuff in there. So he's going to have his penguin lair.
But this is before the will was signed.
Who cares? It's not like he cares.
Yeah.
Right?
He'll just take it over.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the family's gone.
Right.
I'm sure we'll see a resolution with that.
Yeah.
They went away.
I don't know what happened.
To me. Yeah.
Well,
and then
you want some roast? I got some leftovers in the fridge.
Yeah, exactly. And then at the last minute, of course, Barbara woke up.
Yep. Ping.
At the end of the last episode, and she shows up on the doorstep. One of the things that happened in this episode was that Barnes wanted James to come back, and he said, I can't come back because I promised
Lee.
Bruce Wayne.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
I promised Bruce Wayne that I would help him find his parents' killer. And yes, the person who actually pulled the trigger was found, but we didn't find who ordered the hit. So I'm going to do what I can. Before I can come back, I feel like I have to clear that off my plate. And Barnes says, well, I won't give you the case files unless you take Lee's phone number. And so that's their little trade-off that they make. And then after you're done with that, you come back to the force.
Like he has to be forced to call Lee after she lost his kid.
Yeah, well, he feels like he's letting her heal, I guess.
Yeah, but still, come on.
I know.
It's kind of a dick move on Gordon's part.
It is a real dick move.
Yeah.
But I don't know that he knows what to do with that information. He broke up with her. I think he feels responsible. So what do you do with that, right?
You put your own feelings aside and be there for her?
I agree with you.
Okay.
I'm making excuses.
Maybe that's what I would do. Maybe that's crazy.
That's what I would do too.
Yeah.
So he tries to call her and he hangs up like a 6th grader.
Yeah.
Calling his crush. And when he does that, there's a knock on the door. He goes to answer it and it's, hi.
He thinks it's Lee or something.
Right.
Yeah.
It's Babs at the door.
Stabby Babs.
And that's where we leave it. And there, of course, one of the things I love about this was the little mashup of the scenes at the end of the episode, the montage, where it showed where the episode was leaving off with the roasts and the mom and the blood and
the thing and the stuff.
And the jail.
Right.
And then her showing up at the door and then Bruce Wayne logging onto the computer.
Yeah, Alfred fixes the computer finally.
Lucius does.
Oh yeah, Lucius. Yeah, because that's right. Alfred got Lucius to fix the computer for Bruce. Yeah, after he smashed it. But yeah.
So there's lots of logging in and looking at things down there.
Yeah. And then Bruce and Selena broke up.
Oh right, that's so much for that team up.
Yeah.
That Alfred tells him that if he cares about her at all, he will exclude her from this mission he has in order to keep her safe. Mm-hmm. And that's what wakes him up to that because he knows that Alfred doesn't like her.
Right.
And so if he wants her safe, then it's definitely a danger.
Yeah, so he's got to push her away.
Right. So that's what he does. And it's definitely a Batman move.
Yep.
So it's very Batman, Catwoman dynamic.
And she's all, have a nice life, Bruce Wayne.
It's that.
2 snaps up and a twist.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, there was that.
Okay,
so what did you give this episode?
It should be pretty obvious from me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right. 9 Scott Tenorman roasts.
Yes.
I love the fact they went there.
It was a great rating.
I was thinking, okay, this is cool. I love the whole bit with Edward. I love that a lot. So you got the Riddler plus the Scott Tenorman reset.
Yes.
So I had to give this pretty high.
Yeah. I was just slightly lower than you. Mm-hmm. And I pulled out a part that we didn't mention, but it was Harvey getting to his IAD contact.
Yeah.
She was adorable. 8.5 happy Harvey hookups.
Yeah, that was.
And I looked it up. He is technically still engaged, but he's not married.
Right.
So yeah. It's a little fuzzy. So he has a bit of a hookup there, and she's so cute. I thought had a bit of a
Well, he's only hooking up really to get the info for Gordon.
yeah, but he had a good time.
Mm.
Come back in an hour.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so
He
on to
took one.
Lucifer.
Took one for the team.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
He took one for his own team. That's what he did.
Team Bullock.
Yeah. Okay, so Lucifer,
Saint-
111.
Saint Lucifer.
Saint Lucifer.
Yeah, written by Sherry Elwood and David McMillan. Directed by Mersey Almus.
Very nice. Weird names,
Yes.
but good. So I have A story, The Shirt Off His Back.
Mm-hmm.
B story, The Dirty and Good Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. I spelled
Dirty
deeds
deeds
wrong.
and the done dirt cheap.
That's right. Very nice.
Thank you.
C story, Karen is the best.
Karen is the best. Oh, we gotta
I'm
wait.
the best. I'm the best. I'm
We
the
got-
best.
We
I'm
do the
the
Karen is the
I'm
best
the best, I'm
song
the best,
because she's the best at what she does, and everything that she does is the best.
Okay, let's get that out of the way. I can't believe I was right. I honestly cannot believe I was right.
Called it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did. You totally called it. And you want to tell them what you called?
Yeah, that he is vulnerable around Chloe.
Yeah.
And he is actually still immortal.
Yeah. This is something you've been talking about for several episodes now. We weren't sure if that theory was going to hold up.
Pretty much since he got shot by her.
Yeah, so
And I was worried about it.
You were paying attention.
Yeah, I was watching each episode, and the thing that had me worried is when he got burnt. But
Right.
he was near her,
Mhm.
and that seems to be the thing, the trick.
Yes.
Is that he just has to be
proximity.
right near her.
Yep.
And you notice he also did the thing where he checked her back. So he thinks she's magical as well.
Yes.
So we'll see what the dealio is. She's not an angel, but I think she has some sort of
something's going on there.
There's
some supernatural element to her.
That's right.
So
because he mentioned it and all that, but of course we're not going to know for a while because we've already seen the season finale. And
no, we haven't seen the season finale.
oh no, we haven't.
No, we still have one more episode.
We do
because we watched
We've
episode
seen
12.
more. Yeah,
but again, we're behind, so we're catching up.
Yeah. Okay. So the shirt off his back. This was the whole. He decided because he wouldn't sleep with her when she came over and she was drunk, that he felt good about it.
Right.
About doing this good deed, and so he was going to try and do good deeds to get this high again.
Yeah.
This high of feeling good.
Right.
And a guy who ran a charitable foundation was actually the murder victim.
It was kind of funny to kind of let her twist for a while, though.
It was. I loved it.
It make her squirm, like, oh God, did I? Oh no.
He was sitting there in his robe.
And he wasn't savoring that.
So great.
Yeah.
A little hair of the dog or some coffee. And she says, oh no. A little bit of both then. Or some of the brandy and the coffee cup. It's so great. And she's got her bra hanging off of the lampshade. He really does let her twist in the wind.
Yeah.
It's so great. And he is so smug about the whole thing. And then he comes clean. He says, no, I didn't sleep with you. And she says, are you telling me I'm supposed to believe you've been wanting to sleep with me all this time, and I come over and throw myself at you and you don't sleep with me? Yes, you're supposed to believe that.
Yes.
And it was a really great little conclusion to the scene that happened at the end of the episode before this.
Yep.
And I really dug that he has that relationship with her that is so complicated and he does not know what to do with it. He's just completely lost. And I like that he has this high from it and he doesn't know how to get it back. He can't get that high back from doing this good deed.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tries to do all these charitable things and he cannot get the good deed back. And one of them is giving his suit to a homeless man.
Right.
In a pawn shop.
There's a very funny scene. Yeah, he just totally strips down.
Completely.
Gives it because he thinks he's doing a good deed by giving this homeless guy his clothes.
Right.
In broad daylight, in the storm.
in which we learn that he goes commando because
Well,
there's no underwear. Yeah, he gives him his whole suit. And yeah. And Chloe says, well, I've seen more of you than I wanted to.
right. Which she's already seen him before, so.
She says, you are not riding in my car. Which I laughed out loud.
Yep.
Yeah, so he goes to see Dr. Linda, and he is wondering why he can't get that high back. And of course, she always puts things in human perspective for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about it from his perspective of being Lucifer. So we get that double perspective on things as well.
Yeah, I've got here that she reminds him that goodness must come from, quote, a place of authenticity.
Right.
And,
which he is definitely not doing.
Yeah.
He's just trying desperately to reach for that high.
Right.
And it's not cutting it. Did you call the wife right away? Because I certainly did.
Yeah, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah, it was walking down Main Street obvious, I thought. So the wife was the killer, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the main storyline. Then we have the storyline with Malcolm being tasked by Amenadiel to go and kill Lucifer.
Right.
He does catch up with Lucifer and points the gun at him. This is where Lucifer still thinks that he's not immortal.
Right.
So he stops Malcolm and gives over his magic coin.
Yeah, the Pentecostal coin.
Right. And tells him it's his get out of hell free card. And does tell him also that Amenadiel couldn't have helped him anyway. So he doesn't know why he believed him. You know, angels can't get you out of hell. This coin can, but angels can't.
Yeah.
And so Malcolm is pretty pissed off, for one, and is happy. He's all over Lucifer. Lucifer's his bud now.
Yeah.
So he leaves, and then not 10 minutes later, after Lucifer is brushing off this close call,
right,
the wife comes over.
Yeah, Vanessa shows up. Yeah.
Right. And once he figures out it was her because she was going to go to Costa Rica or whatever, a non-extradition country, he figures out that she was the killer, and she shoots him. And, oh, what do you know?
Yeah.
I'm not dead.
Yeah, Dan shows up.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, Lucifer is perfectly okay.
Right. Whoops.
Yep. And then,
well, that's an interesting turn.
Yeah, and then Lucifer freaks her out by stepping up to the podium.
Right.
And then they arrest her. Yeah.
Right. Now he goes to see Linda and says that he's vulnerable around her, and then he gets this thing in his head about, well, he's not quite sure. He thinks that, only angels can hurt each other. So he gets it in his head that she's an angel.
Right.
And he has to go over and see her, and he touches her back to see if she's an angel. She's not. She never had wings or anything. And then I guess he was going to stab her, or was he going to have her stab him?
No. What happened was he had a knife to cut his finger to prove that he's vulnerable around her. He was testing his theory that when he's around her, he's vulnerable.
Well, I know that's what ended up happening.
So he was fine before, and then he brings the knife. He puts the knife behind his back, slices his finger, cuts his finger. So he's like, okay. And then that's the point where that's the moment he realizes, like, oh yes, you make me vulnerable as well.
Right. Right. And my husband and I were watching this together.
Yeah.
And I was actively rooting for Malcolm to shoot him. And my husband thought I was insane. And then when he didn't shoot him, I was like, bum, 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 bum. Yeah. And then when the wife came in, I'm like, oh, well, he's going to get shot now.
Yes.
And when she shot him, I was like, okay, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I was right. And I did the little I was right dance in the living room
You're like,
in front of the TV.
well, and then yeah,
Right,
then I was on Twitter.
I was right.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, looks like Karen figured it out.
Yeah, I was so happy. I don't know why. I was just happy.
Theory achievement unlocked.
That's right. Challenge accepted. Okay, so what did you think of the episode?
Real quick though, I want to talk about
Oh, sure.
Maze and Amenadiel
Oh, right.
in the backseat of the car.
Yeah.
Get the porn music ready. Oh yeah.
Well, they had the little chat over
Yes.
coffee because that was her way of making it up to Lucifer.
Sweet Christmas.
Lucifer said that he was done with her,
Mhm.
but maybe if he figured out what was going on with Amenadiel, shrug.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And the next thing you know, yeah, they're bonding over wine and a medium rare steak.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go have freaky car sex.
That's right.
Little steamy in the back seat.
That's right. Steamy, not just steamy, but
Steamy.
they cracked the window.
Yeah.
Big time.
You could write messages on that backseat window
They could.
with your finger.
They could draw little hearts with horns
Yeah, exactly.
out the top and a little tail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean Yeah, that was good.
That was funny.
All right.
And
And we both actually horned in on that for our grade.
yeah,
So
so what's your rating?
I gave it 8 goat stories.
Right. I give this one 8 out of 10 steamy backseat windows. I thought this episode was all right, but I did like the little backseat.
Yeah, I like that too. And of course, it was the episode that I got proved right. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
had to
So
like
you're like,
it.
So
Yeah.
yes, Karen is the best.
And I
She is the
rushed.
best at everything she
I
does.
rushed to my desktop computer to tweet Charles, and he had already tweeted me, and I was like, "Oh."
Well, I was giving you props.
I know you were. I wanted to tweet you. So
Yeah.
all right. So on to iZombie.
iZombie.
19 Deadbeat and Salivation Army.
It's two episodes in
Two
one.
treats, one.
Yeah. Yeah, Deadbeats written by John Embone, directed by John Kretschmer, Salivation Army, teleplay by Diane Ruggiero Wright and Kit Boss, directed by Michael Fields.
Oh, Kit Boss.
Yep.
I like
Which is
her.
why
Kit
the dialogue-
Moxie, right?
Yep, which is why the dialogue was so snappy in that second
It
part.
was. I loved that. I only have 3
Okay.
stories.
Okay.
The A story is one of us.
Or
Babineau's.
Babineau. Yeah. About time.
I know, right?
It's only been 2 seasons, dude.
Right.
Mr. Detective finally gets a clue, and it's only when people tell him.
Right. And then the B story is they were on a break.
Intriguing title.
Thank you. And then the C story, well, you didn't watch Friends.
No, I didn't.
And then the
And
C story,
take pride in that.
that was a good show, dummy. And then the C story is the buyout and the sellout.
Okay. So A story, Babineau.
A story is one of us, or
Babineau.
Babineau's.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got it kind of Clive. Obviously, this is the first part, especially, is a big episode for Clive
Mm-hmm.
because Liv tells Clive everything.
Mm-hmm.
Clive laughs it off. He's like, "Nah, you're crazy."
And then she stabbed herself.
Then she stabs herself in the gut with a knife
Yeah, I loved that.
and goes full on zombie
For a second or two.
for a second too, pulls it out, and then finishes her story.
Mm-hmm.
So Clive knows, and he's like, "Holy crap!" Then Clive ends up deciding, well, okay, I guess Major, we need to do something about Major now.
Right.
So he goes to Basio, and or no, he doesn't. I think he just does it, right?
He just
Right?
he
Yeah,
just gets him out.
Gets him out. because he's all clued in that if Major stays in there any longer without eating any
Epidemic.
brains,
Right.
yeah. So, and Bazio's not happy with it.
Nope.
So she's
But too bad.
yeah. So he loses his would-be girlfriend over it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh well.
Yep. She's all like, well, you would have been great at the FBI and blah blah blah.
Too bad.
Yep.
Right now, he really can't do that anyway.
Yeah.
Because now he knows too much stuff, and yeah, it's not like he can hide anything. He's a horrible liar.
No, but yeah, at least he, it's. Now I'm a little shady on why Clive let him go, though.
Because he
Well,
knows it was the right thing.
Yeah, but
It was the right thing. How many people would die if he didn't let him out?
Yeah, that's true.
He can't have that on his conscience. He's there to save lives.
But I thought he was killing guys before he froze them.
He was.
So he's still
Zombies, though.
Still. What legally standing? I mean, yeah.
Hand wave, hand wave.
Yeah, pretty much.
For the most part, Major's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that.
Okay.
And I think they explained to him that he was being blackmailed into it.
Right.
That there was a gray area there.
Yep.
So, yeah, he gets Major out.
Yep.
He knows that there's zombies in the world.
Right.
He gets filled in on the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
unfortunately, those zombie sickles were disappeared from their deep freeze.
Right. And they had to try and figure out where they went.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they went to Max Rager.
Yep. And Liv kind of gets her, a little rude awakening when she finds out about Major kidnapping the zombies.
Right? Because
he was being blackmailed by Max Rager and did it to keep her safe.
And one of them was her boyfriend.
Yeah, so Drake is still alive. Great. Right. But now they're missing. So, damn it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one turn after another.
Pretty much.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Yeah, so they decide they have to go and find the zombie sickles.
Yes.
So they're going to go to the basement of Max Rager, and they have to try and figure out this plan. So they eat the hitman zombie brains.
Yeah.
They both do in order to get tactics. Right. And they also know it's the hitman that Vaughn hired after Major.
Yeah. Well, because what happens, there's this fight at the morgue between Ravi
right.
and Janko.
Right. And he ends up killing Janko.
Yeah.
And he's very upset about this.
So Ravi gets in this fight to the death, really, and ends up shooting Janko full of sedative. He overdoses him.
Right.
And so he totally freaks out.
Yeah.
Even though it's self-defense.
He's drinking out of a china teacup.
Yeah.
And he's like,
his hands shaking.
Yeah. Where does he get a china teacup there?
And he suggests dumping the guy's body in the river under the cover of night.
Right. But no, they have use for the brain.
Yep.
Because not only does he have information, but they could use his tactical abilities as well.
He's got the skills, yo.
Right. So they use his brain in order to get in, to find the zombies, and to get them out. Not just because it's the right thing, but because Major promised that one zombie that she would be the first thing.
Right.
That he saw, and all that, it's the right thing. And Drake is one of them, and all that stuff. And who knows what they're doing to the zombies there. They're experimenting on them and all that.
So they infiltrate this Supermax launch party.
Which was being played by Rob Zombie? No, Rob
Thomas. Right. Yeah, so it got really meta.
Right.
With
last week, it was Rob Thomas was doing the jingle in his ear.
Right.
And then he got Rob Thomas to come and play at the party.
He being Von Du Clark.
Right.
Right.
Vaughn is actually selling Max Rager to the government.
Yep.
He doesn't like it, but he's doing it because he made his daughter a zombie, and he's going to use the money to try and cure her.
Supposedly.
Supposedly,
I'm not
which I
buying it. I'm
doubt.
not buying it.
And I love that she says to him, okay, so you're doing this all for me, but you couldn't just hold an elevator for 3 more seconds?
Right, exactly. And he
And
keeps her locked in a cage.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is just such a dick.
Yeah, pretty much.
A dill hole.
So yeah. It turns out there was like this stash of tainted utopium in the Max Rager secret lab dungeon.
Yep.
And it's the same batch that transformed Liv, during the boat party.
Right.
So,
Not
what?
only do they take that,
Yeah.
they
So
drink the Max
yeah,
Rager,
the researchers they start handing it out like designer drugs at a party.
right.
And
That's the combo is the Max
yeah.
Rager and the tainted
So
utopia.
of course they become rampaging zombies.
And make everyone at the party
They started,
into
so basically it turns into zombie free for all.
right.
And it's this moment where iZombie gets as close to probably The Walking Dead as it's ever going to get.
Right.
Because it was pretty, like, you expected Rick and Daryl with his crossbow to start popping out and
But in Technicolor.
Yeah.
It can't be that dark wash.
No.
It would have to be in color because iZombie's in color.
Yeah.
Whereas The Walking Dead is kind of in that dark wash.
Well, maybe they do like that, a tribute to the comics where it go completely black and white and then
there we go. That would be funny, actually.
Yeah, it would be.
iZombie went all black and white for an episode. Yeah. So, and one of the solutions is because Clive is still human, they're all coming after him. They can smell Clive as being a human, and they want to eat his brains. And it gets to a point where they're running out of bullets in order to kill them.
They're protecting Clive.
Right.
Because everybody else is immune, so Clive's like, great, thanks, guys.
Right. And Liv says, well, there's an easy way to solve this, and I can just make you a zombie. Right. So if it comes to that, I can just scratch you and make you a zombie. And he says, I don't know. And that's the one of us,
Which would be really interesting to see Clive all pale.
Oh, I would love that.
As a zombie.
Right?
Yeah.
And he says, so I'd be one of them? And she says, no, you'd be one of us. You wouldn't be a crazy zombie. You'd be, we'd get you brains. Don't worry about it. We'd take care of you. And that's still not an option for him. And so they go through all this and they still manage to keep him human. And the way they do this is that the woman in charge of the government agency that buys Max Rager comes in and kills all the zombies that are hemming them into this little box down in the garage.
Vivian.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And they end up meeting up with her in the big banquet room that they were having the party in at the last bit of the episode. And she is eating brains along with all her aides.
Right.
And says, welcome to the New World Order.
Yeah. It's basically setting up season 3.
Right. Saying that Seattle is going to be the headquarters of the zombie apocalypse.
Right. And a lot of people are going to want to see that happen. So she asks Liv, are you with us or are you against us?
Right.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Yeah. So they were on a break is really just the Major and Liv storylines with, their other halves.
Yeah.
Not being with them. And of course, Liv ends up having to kill Drake.
He goes full Romero.
Right.
Yep.
And unfortunately, she has to take him out. And then there's, what's her name? Their roommate, the good roommate. Peyton.
Yeah.
And Ravi kind of almost get back together, but then Blaine shows up.
Blaine saves Peyton from Mr. Boss's henchman.
Right. And Ravi shows up and realizes that they slept together and isn't a little unpleased.
Yeah, they're all like this emotional embrace, and then Ravi walks in and it's like, oh.
Right. He's really unpleased by that revelation.
Dagger.
Right. And see, the Friends episode, they were on a break. It's not just one episode. It goes through a million episodes. Is that Ross and Rachel didn't break up, but they were on a break so they could see other people, and they yell it at each other for like a season and a half. We were on a break, that sort of thing. So it's Ravi and Peyton and Blaine. So she slept with Blaine when she and Ravi were broken up, but Ravi apparently expected to be able to just jump back into her arms. So it was.
And meanwhile, everybody wants to see Ravi and Liv get together.
Kind of, yeah. But then that would make him a zombie because it's sexually transmitted.
Right.
So I really don't want him to be a zombie.
Need zombie condom.
But she has to be a zombie in order for the show to work.
Yes.
So I'm okay with her being with Major. I like Major. He was kind of a douche there for a little bit, but okay. So what do you give this episode? Because I really liked it.
We forgot to talk about that Vondu Clark is dead.
Well, yeah, his daughter eats him.
Yeah, but that was pretty cool. This
Major.
We expected his daughter to be the one who takes him out.
Major does a really great job of getting them cornered in the elevator.
And then poor Chief is dead.
Chief.
Donnie and Chief.
Oh, yes.
Chief's dead, so no more wash, vest, jacket, no more down to basement banjo playing.
Right. Yes, they end up dying.
So that was sad, but yeah, poor Chief.
No, not really, but okay. So
so my rating, I loved this finale. I thought
me too.
I posted this on Twitter. I think the iZombie finale was way better than the season 6 finale of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I did too, actually.
I think a lot of people did because I got likes on it, and everybody just
and I think
nobody criticized me for saying so. So
season 2 of iZombie went like this to me.
It went up.
Just on a straight line up.
And it ended on such a strong note. So I give this one 9 out of 10 brain bagels.
Very nice. I gave it 9 New World Orders because I really liked it as well.
Yeah, great.
Okay, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 316, Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost, written by George Kitson and Sharia Oliver, directed by Wendy Stanzler.
Okay, I know that name.
Yep.
Okay, so they all make sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
B story is Death by Snoo Snoo.
Nice Futurama reference.
Thank you. C story is they may have picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Airplane reference, very nice.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so they all make sacrifices. Definitely the main storyline with what's his name? Hold on.
Gideon Malik.
Yeah, Malik. The main storyline with Malik,
played by Powers Booth.
Right. Except for the part that I'm talking about is the one played by the younger.
Yeah.
Actor, where his brother and he are part of the lottery.
Yeah, they continue. They're just after the death of Gideon's father, he pledges that he and his brother Nathaniel will continue to carry on their father's work.
Right.
Nathaniel tells Gideon they need to go meet with this Daniel Whitehall in prison.
Right.
Gideon
who gives them some advice.
Yeah. With the supervillain accent, with the Rockin' Bullwinkle accent.
I have some advice for you.
Natasha, we must get Moose and Squirrel.
Well, it was German, I think. I know, but still, yeah, it was
very Boris Batnoffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Gideon argues, saying their father never believed in Whitehall's Hydra, but Whitehall's men won't take no for an answer.
Right, and someone tells him to look in the book.
Yeah, it's
Paradise Lost.
Copy of Milton's Paradise Lost.
Right.
Yep.
I looked through Milton's Paradise Lost quotes in order to try and get a quote for that.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep looking for a quote sitting at the computer. And I was like, no.
It's pretty dry reading.
Yeah, pass.
Yeah.
I've read it before, but I was like, oh, there's stuff I could use.
There's better stuff you could read.
I'd rather use Airplane and Futurama.
Quotes, yeah. You made the right call.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he finds the white rock in the book, and that's the rock that his father had been palming.
Right. Yeah, it
in
turns
order to not get chosen.
it turns out that old dad, who everybody said, "Oh, he's so brave." Oh, it turns out, guess what? He's just been scamming everybody, sending
Right.
everybody else to die instead of him on the.
Right. But he's been volunteering to
Yeah,
take a rock,
yeah,
knowing that he's palming this rock that gets him out of the lottery every time.
right.
Yeah. So
And then
he
Gideon,
and his brother both step up, and his brother manages to get called up.
well, only after Gideon does the same trick
Right.
and sacrifices his brother.
Right. Whoops.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah. Gideon is not a nice guy.
Nope.
And I'm
Coward,
guessing
and
it's,
pretty much a coward too,
yeah,
which Hive calls him out on.
right. And I'm guessing he doesn't realize that Hive has all the memories of everybody
Hmm. Well,
at
yeah,
that point,
yeah,
because it does kind of bite him in the ass.
yeah. Because eventually Hive is like, well, guess what? I absorbed the memories of Nathaniel too.
I know
So,
what you
yep.
did.
Neener, neener, neener. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And we also learned that when he touched the guy from last week,
right.
he saw that Hive killed him, absorbed him.
Yes.
And so now he knows that he escaped it in his youth, but that now it's going to happen to him. And he doesn't want that to happen, obviously. And when he shows up at his house and his daughter says, "Oh, we have a visitor."
Yep.
Whoops.
Don't.
Yeah. I was actually later on in the episode,
Mhm.
she thinks that Ward is Ginchy,
Yeah. He's
and
hot.
yeah.
Hot. Oh yeah.
And
But then one of the cool things in this episode, though, we did get to see the actual Hive.
it
So
was very
the
cool.
all tentacly
hmm
Hive from the comics, which I was just like, yay!
Yeah, you fangirled over it.
I did, but it was far too brief.
Yeah, it was.
Need to be longer, but
I hope we would see it again, except I think it's a very expensive
it probably is.
proposition to
But
show.
Flash got like Gorilla Grodd and King Shark for an entire episode.
I
Just
know.
saying. Just saying.
I know.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, you would think. And this is a Joss Whedon show. You would
Yeah.
think that they would allow him to have a little bit of a budget.
Apparently not. It's ABC and Disney. Disney, ABC's pretty skimpy on
You
the
don't want
budget.
to hear my opinions on ABC this week.
Yeah, because Castle and
Yeah, shush.
I'm just saying. By the way, does that mean that the future of the Storming the Castle podcast is in question?
It means that season 9 is in question, and that's what that means.
Intriguing.
I won't say any more than that because I don't know.
Okay, well that's okay. I'm not gonna put you.
Okay.
But I was kind of wondering about.
I honestly don't know anything at this point.
Okay, fair enough. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Drama.
So at the end of the episode, instead of them killing Malik, he decides to punish him in a worse way, and that's taking his daughter instead. So this is his way of getting at Malik.
Yeah.
Instead of killing him, he kills his daughter, and that hurts more. And here's my only bad part about this episode is that I really regret losing her.
Right. I thought had potential as a character.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I really liked her when we saw her fishing with her dad.
Yeah.
And I like Powers Booth, but I would have rather lost him and kept her.
Yeah, because you expected like something to happen. Powers Booth would get taken out because we can't keep him around forever.
Right.
So and then she steps
and
up.
maybe her to become Hive's mate.
Or she's like the true threat.
Right. Wouldn't that be awesome?
But no, they end up they have Hive kill her, consuming her flesh, and then he tells Gideon that, oh, by the way, now you understand sacrifice.
Right.
Ha.
That was a pretty good twist, though.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I have to say it was a good twist, but I regret that we lose her.
Yeah, I think it was lost potential.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's that. And I did like that we got to go back and see his backstory a little bit, even though it was right at the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we're going to be seeing any more of that.
Probably not.
And I like the sacrificial thing
But again, the
at the
flashbacks
start.
mattered here more than on Arrow.
Way more.
Yeah.
And they were interesting.
Yeah.
And then we get the Chloe storyline where we saw that she saw from that guy that the ship went out into space and people died there.
Yeah.
And we didn't know at that point when we saw that through her eyes whether it was her death or someone else's death. And she's guessing it's someone else's death. And when the twin jet, what is it? Twin jet?
Quinjet.
Thank you.
Quinn. Yeah, it's Q.
Quinjet.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I knew I didn't have it right.
That's okay.
I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, you're close.
So when the Quinjet goes up and there's problems with it, she knows that's where the issue is, and she takes her, what are they called, shadow warriors or whatever?
Secret warriors.
Thank you.
That's okay.
I told you were gonna have to help me fill in.
That's why I'm here.
It's Marvel. I have issues with Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
Sticking in my head. So, her secret.
I
warrior.
played both sides of the comic book.
I know you did.
So yeah.
You're that AC/DC thing.
Bi-comical.
Yeah. So her secret warriors, she's going to take them up to save. Now, here's the deal, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
She saw it, which means she was there.
Right.
So if she takes her secret warriors up there, isn't she just fulfilling the prophecy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Especially if you're Fitz, you're like, well, but if you're Fitz, you're like, oh, it's got to happen.
Right.
You can't change it. Now
This really frustrates me.
You would think that knowing this,
you would not go.
You don't go up there.
Right.
You do everything in your power to not go up there.
Right.
But yeah.
Maybe just tell them.
Especially if you know, like, one of your team's going to die.
Right.
Don't go up there.
You idiot. That's what I said. And this is why I said they may have picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Call in the freaking Avengers and send them up there.
Right? This is what I'm saying. So that was my main beef with this episode is why did she go?
Right. Yeah.
She just rushes in headlong.
Yeah.
Decides to go without even thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, wait.
Yeah.
Malik changed history.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that it can be changed. No, she doesn't know that, but we do.
Right.
So why doesn't she at least try to not go rushing in?
Good question.
Okay. So, did I miss anything?
I don't think so. Not really. This is pretty much a kind of filler episode for me.
Right. I liked it though.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked the flashbacks.
It didn't hurt the storyline because I mean, you got some background on Malik and stuff, but it just it wasn't anything special.
Right. So I gave it 8 bad guy German accents.
German accents.
German. His accent was so over the top. I laughed out loud every time. It wasn't a bad accent. It was just way
over the
super
top. Yes, it was.
Accent, yeah.
Yep.
So what did you give it?
I give this one 8 out of 10 stones thrown in a lake.
Blop. Bloop. Yeah. Bloop. Very nice.
Yeah.
And then on to Legends of Tomorrow, which not my favorite. It tied with my favorite episode of the week, but I loved it.
This was a fun episode.
It was very fun. It didn't have anything to do with the main storyline of the season.
It was its own little. It was kind of a self-contained episode for the most part. But unlike Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this was a lot of fun.
It was super fun.
Yeah. So that's why I got it higher grades. This is written by Mark Guggenheim.
Oh, there we go.
And directed by Thor Freudenthal,
the
director with the badass name in the world.
Thor Freudenthal.
Thor Freudenthal.
You have to say it like that. And Mark Guggenheim, who is amazing. Yep. So no shocker there.
Yeah, showrunner Mark Guggenheim, I might point out. But yeah, we get Jonathan Shake or Sheck. Thank you. As Jonah Hex. Mm-hmm. And little sidebar note, Jonathan was kind enough to like one of our tweets.
I know. I fangirled big time.
Which is kind of awesome that like, hey, Jonah Hex is checking out our tweets. That's kind of awesome.
I know.
So that's cool. So
and it was just hashtagged. It didn't even have his @ in it.
So Jonathan, if you're listening,
We loved you as Jonah.
You were a great Jonah Hex. We want to see you back.
Please come back.
So
Yeah,
yeah, and thanks for liking our tweet.
that's right.
Much
We
appreciated.
loved you, seriously.
And I hope you enjoyed the podcast if you're listening.
That's right. That's right.
All
We'll
right.
have to hashtag it.
Yeah,
again.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well,
So my ABC storylines.
right.
Why Jonah Hex, you madcap. Or he'll be your Huckleberry. Both from the same movie.
Right.
Both from Tombstone.
Yep.
And hold on, let me get back from the mic for
Okay.
this.
Yeah. Don't.
She'll do what she wants. Also from South Park.
Right.
I do what I want.
She'll do what she wants.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Saving History, Inside History.
Whatever.
History.
She'll do what she wants.
Inside History.
Yep.
Meta.
Yep. Right.
Okay, so Jonah Hex was awesome. He did such a great job as Jonah Hex.
Yeah, and you know,
Like Jimmy Palmiotti.
Right. They did the scar makeup, very nice job with that. You know, he's got this kind of sass.
Yes.
And I kind of dug that, you know, he wasn't unfamiliar with time travel.
Right.
I like that.
It was great.
First, I thought the thing that they were that this was Jonah after he time traveled into the future. As there was a series called Hex back in the 80s where Road Warrior was very popular and Jonah Hex sales were pretty bad.
Right.
So they decided, well, let's turn Jonah Hex into the Road Warrior.
Yeah.
So he gets like scooped across time to like a Road Warrior post-apocalyptic future.
Wasn't great.
He kicks some butt there, but he's basically decked out in leather and armor and stuff.
It was okay, but it wasn't great.
It was great. But then he comes back.
This was the Jimmy Palmiotti, Justin Gray, Jonah Hex.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'd say so.
And it's my favorite Jonah Hex. This is going to sound like me throwing names out, but I was pretty well acquainted with Jimmy Palmiotti when he was writing Jonah Hex. I was going to Comic-Cons a lot because I was working with another DC artist.
Okay.
Doing some work for him digitally.
Right.
Not.
I understand.
But Jimmy Palmiotti, his table was right with that person and Amanda Connor.
Right.
And, you know, because they're
married.
They weren't married then, but they are now.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with Jonah Hex at that point. I knew about him, but that's when they started writing him. They wrote, what was that Gollum comic they did? I can't remember, but it was good too. And of course, you know, they did the Power Girl comics. And
yeah. They're also like currently doing Harley Quinn for DC Comics and also Starfire, although that series is wrapping up. But
right. And they're so talented, the two of them. They did a bunch of the spin-outs of 52 back in those days. So yeah, I was heavily invested in this Jonah Hex. So to see this incarnation of Jonah Hex,
right,
I
fangirled. You fangirled
hard. I fangirled hard, and it was just like he had stepped from my comic onto my TV. Didn't you think that was? I mean, he was embodying.
Yeah. See, I'm not a huge Jonah Hex fan. I like the character,
right?
But I'm not a huge fan.
Oh, he was so good.
But yeah, he was good. So I thought it was very faithful.
Oh, I loved it, and the makeup looked great, and he did his homework, Jonathan Schaech. I thought he did such a great job, and this coming from the actor who is in That Thing You Do, right?
Well, that shows his range.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
That's a good thing.
He was in an episode of Sleepy Hollow last year.
Right.
And then he goes on to do this, and I'm just gobsmacked.
Which I'm kind of wondering, I'm thinking he got cast for this because he did the Sleepy Hollow episode.
Probably. Yeah. Shows versatility.
Right.
So yeah, there was that, and I loved that it connected him and Rip because it showed that Rip kind of had this infatuation with the Old West.
Right. We
And
kind of got a backstory
right,
because we find out that Rip at some point before the show started uh, went back as a mission for the Time Masters to the Old West and kind of stayed there a little bit
right.
and became friends with
Too long.
became friends with Jonah.
Right.
And that's kind of why he now wears the long coat
Mhm.
with kind of like the kind of cowboy six shooters
Right.
version.
Right. Yeah, it's Jonah's coat, isn't it? Didn't he say something about you look good in my coat?
Maybe.
I thought there was a throwaway line
Maybe.
like that.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he wears that long duster coat.
But apparently what his appearance now is kind of a tribute to that period.
Right. Exactly. And there's a bit of bad blood between them because he left.
Mm-hmm.
He was helping to keep the peace in that town. And when he left, it ended up leaving a hole big enough that bad things happened.
Right.
And Jonah blames him for that. And there was a bit of an exchange on the ship
Mm-hmm.
where Jonah asked him, if you had known that they were going to come and do this, would you have left? And Rip says, see, that's the thing. I did know. And that's why I had to leave. And Jonah is very unhappy about that comment.
Right.
And he explains to him, I can't change history. You know, I'm a time master.
Right.
I can't alter things. I have to leave well enough alone. And I was falling in love with this time period, so I had to leave. I had to get my hand out of it. I couldn't have stayed a time master.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, but I'm not a time master now. And that's his parting line.
So,
he decides he's going to go and meddle.
So I think that's kind of why Rip in this continuity is so focused on future repercussions.
Mm-hmm.
Because
of the ripples he made here.
The guilt over this event.
And maybe not just this event. We may find out that
there may be others.
Right.
Right.
Other things happen. Because if he had a conscience here,
yep,
it's not unlikely that he didn't have it other places as well. So they end up taking Jax hostage because of a fight.
Right.
That happens in.
So apparently Jax is the damsel in distress.
Right.
Who needs rescued.
Right. So there's a bit of a poker hand that goes awry. Mm-hmm. And
yeah. No, there was a great scene where Professor Stein is apparently we find out he's done some little shady things in his past. Yes. And so he's kind of swindled at cards a little bit.
Yes.
So he kind of kicks butt at the poker table. Another guy from the town gets a little upset with it. Of course, words.
Pulls out his gun.
Things get escalated. Captain Cold shoots the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Cold's like, well, look, you saw him reach for his gun.
Right. He was going to kill you. What was I supposed to do?
So, of course, a bar brawl breaks out because we got to have a bar brawl.
Of course. And Jax gets taken.
Yep.
In the crossfire. He is abducted. Mm-hmm. Which is really quite funny.
Yeah.
And they have to bargain to get him back. And in doing so, subsequently, Ray gets made the sheriff.
Yep. Well, because we find out that Ray is supposed to be like this big cowboy geek.
Right. Western aficionado.
Yeah, he's always wanted to do this. So he's that's why he wanted to explore the town.
Right.
Because Ray's like, I got to check this out. This is my dream.
So he tries to step up and he thinks he's getting made the deputy, but really the sheriff is like,
sheriff's like,
gotta go see ya.
Town's yours. Bye.
Yeah. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Yep. Have fun getting killed.
And he thinks he's going to have to do the high noon shootout thing in order to save Jax. But since Rip isn't a time master anymore, he decides he's going to do it.
Yep. Which is a good thing.
Yes, because I don't think Ray would have done very well.
No, because it turns out Rip is really quick on the draw.
Very.
And wins the draw.
Yes, he does. And they end up getting Jax back. But after that ends, which it ends,
yep.
the hunters
Yeah,
are
like,
there.
oh, we thought, oh, it's all worked out. No, guess what? The hunters
Not so
show
much.
up. And remember the
Yeah,
hunters that were like pursuing them in the first
right,
place?
right.
So yeah, they show up and
And everyone's back in town. I'll get to why people have splintered off in a minute,
mhm.
but everyone's back in town and they have come to the point where they're like, I don't think people are going to care right now if we show our hand.
Mhm.
So we're going to end up sprouting wings and becoming Firestorm and saving the town because these guys are going to
Yep.
be using their weaponry as well. And of course, he's got Ray's little suit because that's easy to carry.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the guy's guns because, that would be a little difficult. They're kind of big.
Yeah.
So he's got a suit, he's got Firestorm, they've got the little pistols that they've had
Mhm.
from the beginning. He gives Jonah one of the special futuristic pistols, and he's like, I'll be wanting that back. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, because Jonah's got his eye on it.
Jonah wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, they had Captain Cold asking Rip how like they're going to address the whole like team being seen with their
Right.
superpowers,
Yeah.
and Rips just chalks it up like, well, skepticism and disbelief is a far more effective tool in the future.
Right.
So that's a
Yeah. Well,
hand-
it's like
it's a
people
hand,
saying
it's a hand wave.
dragons
Yeah, and
and
then
people not believing that.
and
Yeah.
of, and of course there's this boy that Professor Stein saves. That, oh, guess what? Turns out to be H.G. Wells,
H.G. Wells.
Herbert George Wells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birdie.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we get
Now this is
a
before he
lovely
met the Doctor
actress.
in the episode Time Lash and Doctor Who.
Right. 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 Or was on Warehouse 13.
Right. Exactly.
And we get the actress from the West Wing. She is amazing. I love this actress. I had her open and I can't remember her name now.
Oh. Anna Devere Smith,
Thank you. Yes.
who played.
She's been in a lot of things.
Yep.
She played Kendra from the past.
Right, but she's also another DC character
Okay.
because Kendra in that previous life
Was
this Western hero called Cinnamon.
Oh.
And she was married to Nighthawk, who was a Western hero.
Right.
That was the past incarnation of Hawkman.
Hawkman.
So yeah,
I know this
so
story.
Hawkman and Hawkgirl
Why did I not
in
catch that?
in past lives. This is something Jeff Johns came up with.
Yeah.
They basically Jeff Johns took these old 50s and 60s Western heroes from DC Comics and said, oh, I guess they're really Hawkman and Hawkgirl in their past lives, which was a very cool thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
That it was her.
Yep.
Very cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, she was on the West Wing. She was also in Rent. She was in The American President. So if you recognize her from something, you probably want to look her up. She's been in a million things. She's a really great actress. I loved seeing her in this. And she tells Kendra, give it up. I tried to fall in love with someone other than Hawkman, but it's not going to work. And this is where she'll do what she wants because she decides anyway that she's in love with Ray and she's going to give it a shot.
Yeah, once again, we have the on again, off again romance of Ray and Kendra.
Right. And it probably won't work out.
Right.
But who knows? Because it never really does between anyone.
Because eventually Hawkman's got to get reincarnated. He's got to show back up and be like, hey, baby.
Or we're going to find another time version of him.
Yeah.
We're going to run across him again.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, timey-wimey.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the whole story. And there was a bit between Rory and Sarah.
Yeah, they're
where they
flirty.
talked at the bar. A little flirty.
Yeah,
and
they
also
tried to drink each other under the table.
And also she helped us see a little bit more into his character, where she asked him how long he lived as Kronos.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he stopped counting. And so now we're seeing that he's more well-rounded,
Yeah,
that he's become more than this dumb brute.
he's not just a hothead.
Right.
Yeah.
So now he's more of a match for Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
He and Leonard could be equal partners now.
Right.
Or he could be the lead
Mm.
almost in that partnership. So we're seeing a different McRory now. And I did like that. Even though it was a very small interchange, we definitely see that. And then at the end of the episode, when he and one of the hunters go head to head and he kills him, the hunter gives out some information
Right.
that who's coming after them?
The Pilgrim.
Right.
Which is this, we find out is this kind of
Pilgrim?
time traveling bounty hunter type character that ends up killing their younger selves as a way to kill them.
Right.
Which is a very nasty way of doing it.
That's a big deal because one of the things that Rip Hunter, a big thing about his character is that he has to change his name and all this stuff in order to disguise who he is.
Yeah.
But all the rest of them didn't have that luxury.
Exactly. So yeah, you could go back to when they were a baby. So it's the whole "would you kill Hitler when he was a baby" argument.
Right. And they don't have that compunction. They don't care. They're going to go back and kill all these people.
If you're going to kill, whether I kill them as an adult or kill them as a kid, makes no difference. They're dead.
Right.
And if I kill them as a kid, then they never existed.
Right.
So
ha.
So wouldn't that create a paradox though? Because then if they didn't exist, then how would they do the thing that pisses you off in the first place?
Right. And we know from Flash that there's time fragments and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Yeah. So I don't think it would do anything.
I would think it'd just offset and start back over, and yeah, nothing happened. But
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So what did you give?
I give this one. I like this a lot. 8.5 out of 10. Winning hands of poker.
I loved it too, and I gave it 9 Oneaters.
Oneat? Oh yeah, Ray.
Oneaters from That Thing You Do. Because that was the name of the band, the Wonders.
Oh,
and
okay.
Thought it was the Oneaters because Wonders.
I just thought like Ray likes to say neat.
Oh, well, I guess you could do it that way too.
Yeah. Okay.
But I spelled it 1-ders because that's how they spell it, and then people kept reading it as Oneaters.
Odor eaters? What?
I guess you haven't seen That Thing You Do?
No, I have not.
You have to watch it.
Okay.
Seriously.
This is on the list of stuff I need to watch.
That Thing You Do.
Okay.
It is one of those movies that I stop and watch every time I run by it on the TV. It is so good. You wouldn't think it is, but it is so good.
I will take your word for it.
Please watch it. For me?
Okay, for you.
Okay.
Because it's you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Blink, blink. Okay. Daredevil 206, Regrets Only.
Yes. Written by Sneha Course, directed by Andy Goddard.
Excellent. Party time. Excellent. Yep. B story is Whiplash. Right?
Yep.
And C story is So This Is a Thing Now.
Yeah. Right.
Because, wow. Yeah. Right in front of him. That is so insensitive.
Yes.
So Party Time Excellent was the main story with them going to a party, Matt and Elektra.
Right.
And trying to get the information on the Yakuza.
Yeah, Elektra comes to Matt saying, "Oh, by the way, you know there's this Yakuza ledger that we need to get from the Roxxon building."
Mm-hmm. Rocks on, rocks off.
Rocks on, rocks off. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Because they're the Yakuza, of course.
Yeah. Well, so Matt, basically, this is right after the events of last week where she shows up at Matt's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up going to a diner, and Elektra wants to partner up with him. She says she'll use the information she gained from the Roxxon servers to get to the Yakuza. Matt's only on board if nobody dies, and then she gives him a counter ultimatum: no sex, which is just kind of twisting him that, oh, you really want to have sex with me, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with
Yeah,
that.
he's pissed off by the whole thing.
Right.
He just wants her out
By
of
the
his
whole thing.
life. He wants her
Right.
out of his life.
Right.
And she's just coyly, like, she's like sipping on her milkshake or whatever and just messing, just totally mind effing
Yeah.
with him.
She's the worst in this. Really.
Total.
He's trying to get his life together.
Well,
And
because he's just now getting together with Karen,
right.
and they're starting their relationship. But then, guess what? The ex shows up.
Mm-hmm.
The missus and the ex. Welcome to every man's worst nightmare. To quote Mickey Smith from Doctor Who.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So yeah, they end up going to like.
Meanwhile,
Meanwhile, they end up going to I'm just trying to speed things along.
yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So they end up going to the Roxxon building, break in there.
Well, kind of. They go to the party.
Well, that's
They
true.
just get into the party.
Well, that's true. They get it. They get into the party. They infiltrate it.
I love how she's going to go and try and just talk up the guy.
Yeah.
But instead, he overhears that they're watching him, and he decides he's going to play up the blindy card.
Yes.
And he spills wine all over him. And while he does that, he picks his pocket.
Yeah.
And takes his access card, which I love.
Which is a smooth. Yeah.
The guy is so pissed off at him until he looks up and realizes he's blind.
Well, he probably would have laid into him if there was nobody around, but he's in the middle of a party.
Right.
So he can't do anything to a blind guy in the middle of a party.
Right. And he goes, "Oh, I guess I'll watch where I'm going next time."
Yep.
It was so funny.
It was good.
I loved it. And of course he gets the card.
Yep.
And that's when they decide they're going to go use the card to get to I guess it's like a little safe area.
Yeah, they go up to there, they find one safe, but it's empty.
Right.
And so they're kind of sitting around, and Matt overhears something, like some electronic wiring or something humming.
Mm-hmm.
So he tracks that down. Guess what? There's a secret safe.
Right.
Concealed.
Well, why wouldn't there be?
Yeah, because secret.
There should be.
Yeah, secret panel and everything, the whole 9 yards. So they find the ledger, and then they try to sneak out, but the security kind of tips off. They shut down the floor. So Matt and Elektra, they duck into this conference room.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you hear Elektra moaning from the conference room.
Yeah.
Hey now.
Right. And the guy who finds them.
Yeah, they're like on a table.
In flagrante delicto.
Yeah. So they have to they're all hurry up and put on their clothes. They're like, oh yeah, it was. We just came up here.
We just tried to duck in here.
Yeah, exactly.
And she actually acts a little drunk too.
That's kind of hilarious because she acts drunk on the way out and stumbles and everything.
Right.
So you have a blind guy helping a drunk girl out. Right. That's their cover to get out.
And he also shines a flashlight in his eye and his pupil doesn't react, which he must have learned how to do that.
Well, no, he's technically blind. His whole thing.
Yeah, but he can see light, can't he?
No.
Wouldn't his pupil react?
No. He is blind. Okay. He goes by radar sense.
Doesn't he?
So
can't he see?
He's legally blind. That's why he can't. That's
fiery.
why he can't read paper or anything.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I thought he could see like red, hazy stuff.
Well, I think that's kind of in his mind. I think that's the radar sense.
Okay. All right.
But yeah.
So his eye doesn't react.
No, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, that's why he can they can do tests and they're like, oh, he's blind.
Okay.
But yeah.
I thought for sure he could like see red stuff.
Mm-mm.
All right.
No, that's the radar sense.
Okay. Again, Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel. I understand.
That's me explaining.
But yeah.
Why I'm clueless about
Which is why kind of his secret identity works so well because he can prove that he's
blind.
Right. But they just don't know about the radar sense.
Right. But he's really kind of not.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's blind without being blind, bottom line.
And there's also a fight between he and Elektra and the Yakuza, and they conveniently have a female Yakuza for Elektra to fight.
Yeah, I hate it when they do that.
I do too.
No, I
She
wouldn't. I
can
wouldn't
fight
mind.
male.
I wouldn't have minded if they had the female fighting Matt
Right.
and have a dude fighting Elektra,
But they should have just all been dudes.
or
The Yakuza wouldn't have had a female.
the Yakuza would not have had a female unless it was for a specific mission.
Right.
But yeah,
But they really wouldn't.
or if it was like some elite Yakuza. But
And she wouldn't have gone for Elektra.
But traditionally, the Japanese are
Yeah.
very male centric.
Right.
So yeah.
This was definitely a PC move.
Hmm.
And I found it a little condescending.
It was a little condescending. I agree.
Elektra could fight a male.
Yes.
Easy.
Yep.
Without blinking
Pretty much.
at all.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would have been okay with her fighting a male. And a male trying to beat her up.
Yes.
I wouldn't have worried about that at all.
Or
so
if you had them trade off during the fight, you could start.
Right.
You could start having like female against female, but then trade off during the fight. The female attacks Daredevil,
right,
and
he has to fight back.
The other dude attacks Elektra.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, you have the male fighting a female, which was their problem all along anyway. So
yeah,
that wasn't going to happen.
You're right.
So yeah, there's that, and that was a pretty kick-ass fight scene, even though there was the whole chicky thing. Mm-hmm. I love that fight scene. Still not as good as the
stairwell fight. It's tough to top that stairwell fight.
Yeah, it is.
I love the stairwell fight more than I love the hallway fight from season 1.
Yeah.
And I love the hallway fight from season 1.
I did too.
But this was better.
I love the stairwell fight because of the way he would flick at the lights. Really, that was my favorite part.
Yep.
Was the strategic turning off the lights as he went down the.
And it's very frustrating wanting Daredevil season 3 just to see what fight they'll come up with.
Oh, they're going to wrap it up.
They got to. That's the thing now.
I know. They're going to have to amp it up again.
One crazy fight a season.
I know.
Okay.
I know. He's going to have to turn the lights off for the whole building.
But we get the Defenders before we get Daredevil season 3.
That's true. But he's still going to have to fight in it.
That's true.
So there will be a fight scene.
Yep.
How is he going to play his advantage with other people fighting?
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will. I can't wait. All right.
Yeah.
So there's that. They have a fight, but they do manage to get the file.
Yep.
And get out. And the Yakuza is not happy with the dude who was supposed to protect it.
Yep.
They end up killing his guards.
Right. Now, Elektra finds a page in the ledger that she can't read because it's written in code.
Right.
And Matt's just like, "Ooh, what are they up to?"
Right. And he's not thrilled with her.
No.
For getting him into that mess.
No.
So there was all that.
She's the bad habit he can't quit.
Right. But he wants to desperately.
Yeah, she's really bad for him, but he can't quit her.
I know. I can't quit you.
Yep.
And then we have, on the other hand, Frank Castle being in the hospital.
Right.
And under police protection, but our little gang of lawyer misfits have decided they want to represent him because the public defender who comes to talk to Karen and get her statement is just not in it. He wants to convict him and send him to the chair.
Yeah, because basically that public defender is working for Reyes, the DA.
Right.
So
he's happy to.
It's a token gesture.
Right. He's happy to have him extradited and sent up the river for good and have him get the death penalty. So they can't have that happen. They
have to
fight.
They have to represent him.
Right. So they go in and they talk to him and they talk him into, even if he wants to plead guilty.
Right.
They're going to try and fight on his behalf and get him out of the death penalty and get him the best sentence they can get. And Karen, he only wants to talk to Karen because she ends up showing him the photo that she stole from his place. And with that, they get into this conversation about his family and they end up trading stories and all this sort of thing. And in doing so, I guess she talks him into pleading not guilty, which
Right.
is whiplash. That's my whiplash.
Hmm.
And they are very unhappy because that negates the whole plea agreement they set up.
Planned.
And
Yeah.
right. So that was the thing. And then just before Matt went off to meet with Elektra, he kisses Karen in front of Foggy, which is
Right.
not cool.
Yeah. But yeah, and this is your beef with Karen
Yeah.
because so yeah,
And Matt,
and
because
Matt
it's
and
bros
Matt, you,
host,
yeah,
right?
bro. Well, Matt, you had a problem with because of bro code, but
Right.
Karen because they were kind of sort of flirting with each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And Foggy is just taken aback. So really?
Yeah.
In front of me? Really?
Hmm. Yeah.
And
So
Matt's
he's a little
excuse
bitter over
is
it.
right. Matt's excuse is, well, it's a small office. He's gonna find out anyway. And I'm like, dude, that's cold as shoot.
Nice catch.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
I know.
So yeah, I wasn't pleased about that. Am I missing anything?
Let me see that.
It was a great episode.
You know, it
The
was.
whole castle thing was great.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah,
I'm
because
reducing it to nothing.
no, I
But
think you did a good job. I think that's it.
okay. So what did you give it?
I like this one a lot. I really like the stuff with Matt and Elektra. So 9 out of 10 Yakuza Ledgers.
The only thing I didn't like was the whole bro
Yeah,
before ho thing. 9 non-guilty pleas.
it's just such a great series. Season
It is.
2 is a great, just picked right off from season 1 and does a really good job.
Right.
Continuing that standard of quality for comic book shows.
Right.
Yep.
I agree.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
Long,
We
but
don't really have time for feedback, so why don't we play it next week?
okay. I did want to give a quick thank you to everybody. We have a whole bunch of new followers on our Facebook page.
That's right.
We're up to like 74 now, and I think that has to do with we're now available, for those who don't know, on Google Play Music.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're one of these new people from Google Play Music just checking us out, thank you very much. Thank you so much for checking out our podcast and liking us on Facebook.
That's right. For all you
Crazy kids on the
on the Google
Google Play
Play.
Music.
That's right.
Yep.
I was waiting.
I was getting there.
Okay.
But
So how can they get in touch with us? And Justina will play your feedback next time, I promise.
Yep. Yep. So not my fault this time.
It is, and it's my fault. I have something to do.
Okay. So we're real quick. We're at Phantom Zone Cast on the Twitter machine.
That's right.
The Phantom Zone Podcast Facebook page, of course, which
Mm-hmm.
thanks again for liking us. And
Mm-hmm.
please tell your friends. iTunes, of course. And like we said, Google Play Music. And then
Mm-hmm.
you can also reach us by email at phantomzonecast@gmail.com.
That's right. And you are?
I am at Charles Skaggs on the Twitter machine.
That's right.
And the Instagram.
That's right.
Google Plus for all you crazy kids on the Google Plus.
That's right.
When you're not on the Google Play Music. And Facebook, of course. My blog of geeky things, Damn Good Coffee and Hot, where I talk about all these comic book shows and more.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's right. And I am at Aliveria on the Twitter machine,
Mm.
Aleveria. And there is a link in my bio to my blog in which you can find my other links.
All right.
So we have an outro from Lucifer
Yes.
this week, which you gave me. And I will play that to play us out. So
Bye,
here we go.
everyone. Oh, I was thinking about that.
Just kidding.
I was thinking about getting that MP3 for you.
I did that just to freak you out. Okay, here we go.
Good job. Good job.
Thanks. Wow. There's no ball at the end.
Bye.